All right, welcome. The time is 6 o'clock. I call to order a meeting of the Plan Commission. Acknowledge a quorum of our commission. I'm Matt Sternick, Alderman District 4. I am filling in for Mayor Ongert as chair for this evening's meeting. He is traveling this week and not able to attend. We'll start with everybody, if you could please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We've got a number of items on our agenda this evening. The first is the approval of our minutes from the Plan Commission regular meeting, July 1st, 2025. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Was that Mike and Jeff? Any additions, deletions, corrections, edits that need to be made? There being none, all those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We do have a number of public hearings and actions this evening. I'll turn it over to John.
Thank you. Our first item for the evening is some public hearings and actions. The first item is a conditional use permit for a public hearing and the request of action for to operate a personal training studio as a major home occupation at 317 Acorn Road.
More information?
Sure, I can give a real quick brief on this. So the applicant is applying for a major home occupation as a conditional use. Again, as stated, it's for a home athletic or personal training studio. The applicant has provided a letter for their orders of operations. They're looking for Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. By appointment only. They're looking at 1 to 3 clients at a time, possibly up to 8 if they up to 8 appointments per day, which is allowed by code. They're starting out with 3 days a week and then hoping to grow to 6 days a week. They will be operating out of a single room down in their basement level. Adequate off-street parking is provided. Public notice was sent to all property owners within 200 feet, and staff received no inquiries or concerns pertaining to the conditional use. Staff would recommend approval with the listed conditions.
Great, thank you for that additional detail, Jim. At this time, I will open a public hearing on this request for action. If there's anybody here who would like to speak to the Plan Commission on this, please do so. Please introduce yourself by name and address, and then however you would like to address the commission. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brittany Katazi. I'm actually the one applying for the permit. I wasn't sure how this worked, if I came up here or not. But I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity. I can step aside if anyone else needs to say anything.
Sounds good, thank you. Is there anybody here who would like to speak on their behalf in this regard?
Move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Thank you very much, Jed, and was that Mike? All those in favor of closing the public hearing, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. The public hearing is closed. Is there action we do need to take on this then?
Yes.
All right, at this point then, I'll entertain a motion for that conditional use permit.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff and Scott. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the matter? All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much.
That was easy.
Our next item this evening is to hold a public hearing and request action for a comprehensive plan amendment number 38 for a change in the recommended 2020 land use plan for approximately 12.9 acres located at 2151 West Washington Street from commercial and multifamily to government institutional.
Just a real quick brief on this item. Back in July, the commission was introduced to the land use change. This is actually for the property that the city is acquiring for the fire station number 1. What we're requesting the land use plan change for is from the commercial use to an institutional use to better fit the use and the needs for that property. We also have a public hearing scheduled after this item in regards to the actual zoning. That would actually take the zoning from the commercial use that we have there to the institutional use, which would better fit for all the various uses of that fire department. We've reviewed the request and feel that, you know, this amendment is a compatible use to the area and would fit in the area. And we ask the commission to acknowledge the change of use by approving the resolution that was attached in your packet.
Thank you very much for that background on that as well, Jim. At this time, I'll open a public hearing for Comprehensive Plan Amendment number 38. If there's anybody wishing to address the Plan Commission, please do so at this time.
Hi, my name is Pam Schumacher, representing Schumacher Landscaping at 140 North 18th. The property is going to abut the fire department. I have no problem with the fire department. I just understood that they're going to run some water to the east, which would be our land. And I want to know if there's going to be silt fence, if they're going to look at how this property is put up, because I don't want anybody else's water. And Ben knows that. Max, I'm sorry. If the water did not run behind the lawyer, or why would you want to run it there now? That's my question.
Thank you very much for that question.
You're welcome.
Answer that now, or you want to answer that at the site plan?
This is just a public hearing, correct?
Yep.
If we've got an answer for it now, we could answer it now.
I mean, you could answer it under the site plan, but.
Okay.
I mean, it's a site plan thing, but you could answer it now if, I mean, maybe. Max can
Max,
take it.
why don't we address that now during this public hearing? And then it's covered as we get through the subsequent stages of this
Sure.
discussion
Okay, no
today.
problem, yeah.
Thank you, Max.
I know sometimes we wait until everybody spoke, but yeah. So basically, the city has ordinances for stormwater management that require that whatever amount of stormwater is discharging to a certain location, so volumes, discharge rates, et cetera, in the existing conditions, in the proposed condition, we cannot exceed that amount of some stormwater or the discharge rate. So the plans that are prepared will follow that, the city ordinance, and whatever water is going to the east of the property, where your property would be, would not exceed the amount that's going today. So it would, there's a filter basin that's planned on the east side to help regulate that stormwater with quality and quantity control of that stormwater. So that would be to keep the property in compliance with the code and not send more stormwater to this area than is presently happening. There's also a facility on the west side of the building. So this design is all based on what the current watersheds are, which is what's determining how much water we can send to the east or to the west. So your property or any water leaving this property going to the east would not exceed what it's currently doing once the proposed improvements have been installed.
I'd just like you to keep in contact with us, step by step, so we know what's going on. We've already got water from the Highway 33 residential offices, and I don't need that again.
Yes, I understand, and I will keep in touch with you. Sure.
Thank you for answering that right away, Max. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Any other comments who would like to address the council in regard to this? sorry, the commission.
Hi, my name is Linda Olson. I live at 2100 Miller Street, Unit D. And our concern more is the green space that is right to the west of our building. 2100 D and 2100 Miller is a dead end, you know. And then the way the map looks, we were just wondering if you were going to be able to keep some of that green space and not destroy it the way it is. Do you,
Want me to answer that? So, first I'll just mention to everybody in the audience, we have multiple public hearings for the fire station, so this one's particularly related to the land use. So the land use as proposed would be for institutional. When we get to the site plan later on in the on the agenda, you'll see that the fire station facilities are located mostly on the northern portion of that property. And at this time, there is not any plans to do anything farther south. There have been discussions about a connection, sort of a back driveway that might be built in the future, but that would just be a driveway. So even in that scenario, the majority of that southern portion towards Miller would still be just vegetation.
thank you very much.
And thank you again for just answering that right away instead of it hanging out there. Is there anybody else who would like to address the Plan Commission in regard to Comprehensive Plan Amendment number 38?
I'll move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Thank you very much, Jed, and was that Paul? Thank you very much. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, signal by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Now we will move to requesting the action to approve the Comprehensive Plan Amendment number 38 for the change as both John and Jim have explained it.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you very much, Jed and John. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
This next public hearing is a public hearing and request of action for a zoning map amendment located at 2151 West Washington Street from the B4 General Business and Warehousing District, RM-3 Multifamily Residential, and the Non-Shoreland Wetland District to the I-1 Institutional and Public Service and Non-Shoreland Wetland District.
Thank you very much. At this, oh, sorry, Jim, additional information you might want to add.
No, again, this is just the actual zoning amendment for this, establishing it from the B4 and M3, RM3 to the I1. You will notice that there is a change, that we had some additional information for the non-shoreline wetlands that came a part of the due diligence for the fire station project, and those have been included into the map showing the new wetland areas that they've identified.
Great, thank you very much. At this time, I'll open a public hearing and for the zoning map amendments located at 2151 West Washington Street, as has been described by both John and Jim. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to address the commission on that zoning amendment?
Move to close public hearing.
Thank you very much, Paul. And a second by Jeff, appreciate it. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Now we'll take action on that zoning amendment located at 2151 West Washington Street, as has been described by both John and Jim.
Can I ask, go ahead, I want to ask a question afterwards.
Yes, we've got a motion, Jeff, and a second,
Sure, second.
Mike. Any comments or questions?
Yes. Page 21, it says lot size, approximately 21.15 acres.
Yeah, so there's a difference between how our land use goes to the parcels or to the areas. Our zoning goes to the center lines, and because we have such a large center line for both Highway 45 and then part of Highway 33, it really jumps that number. So it's really the same 13 acres, or
Okay.
a little over 12 acres. So it's the same area being zoned, it's just that how it's represented on the maps.
Gotcha.
That's a good question. Thank you very much. Any other questions, comments? We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We'll move on now to our regular agenda item, and we'll start with a certified survey map.
Our certified survey map, the first item is a request for approval of a one-lot certified survey map located at 2151 West Washington Street by the city of West Bend.
Real quick brief on this is the certified survey map is actually taking two existing parcels out there and combining it into one, removing the interior property lines for the project. So the new building does not cross over property lines along with the other improvements within that development. We have adequate right-of-way for both Highway 33 and Highway 45, so no additional dedications are needed. And staff would recommend approval with the condition that minor technical corrections be done to the CSM prior to recording.
Thank you very much for that additional description. I'll entertain a motion.
Also to approve with the corrections.
Second.
Thank you, John and Scott. We've got a motion, a second. All those in favor of the certified survey map, please signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Our next item on the agenda is for site plans. We have a request for approval of a site plan for a new 39,797 square foot fire station located at 2151 West Washington Street by the City of West Bend Fire Department. And I think we will queue up the presentation. I know the architect team that has been working with the fire department has a quick presentation to walk you through the site architecture and other elements of the project.
No blue bricks.
Okay, thanks.
You should be able to see, right?
Yep, there's a confidence monitor here.
Next, and Jim will be able to advance it.
Will do, thank you. All right, good evening. I'm Trevor Frank. I'm the project manager and architect for the fire station from Short Elliott Hendrickson. I'm going to walk you through a brief presentation here tonight. One, to sort of a status update, and two, to give you more information since the last time we've been in front of you in terms of the evolution of the design and some of the decisions that are being made. And then I'll finish with a brief schedule and next steps. Next slide, please. So this is the image that you see on the screen is the proposed site plan. As was mentioned earlier, most of the activity development, if you will, takes place on the north end of the site. The work to prepare the site will require demolition of an existing building and removal of underground fuel tanks. There'll be new utilities brought into the site. The site will be paved with a combination of concrete paving and heavy-duty asphalt. The difference in color that you see there, the lighter pavement color around the building is the structural concrete, and then the darker is the heavy-duty asphalt pavement. So the idea is that the heavy trucks stay on the concrete pavement and the lighter vehicles and service vehicles go on the asphalt. There are 3 stormwater basins, as Max was mentioning before. You can see the one in the upper left-hand corner at the entrance drive into the site that controls the runoff and stormwater that's collected on the pavement that's on the east end of the building. There is one to the south that you can see off to the far right, just past the asphalt pavement areas, and that will collect most of the stormwater that's coming from north to south. And then there's a small one tucked in the corner. It's a triangular shaped one that will prevent stormwater from going to the west. Since we were here the last time and some of the comments that we received in the site plan review, they wanted to assure proper turning radiuses for the larger apparatus And we ran turning templates for that and included that information in the last round of information supplied for the site plan review. All of the trucks will make those turns and enter the building from the east side into the south entrances of the apparatus bays. We're separating parking between staff and visitors, and emergency vehicles. So there's no commingling between those three vehicle types for added site safety and traffic flow on the site. Next slide, please. So the development of the components are the fire station. It's roughly 44,000 square feet when we get to the upper levels. So there's some mezzanine spaces and there's a hose tower that has a couple of extra levels to it. So, but the base of the foundation of the building is about 39,000 square feet. It will accommodate a training tower of roughly 1,600 square feet and then a future cold storage building of roughly 3,400 square feet, all single-story structures. The training tower itself in the tactical area, meaning high-angle rescue areas and the areas that they deploy the ladder truck, is 4 stories tall. Next slide, please. I want to talk a little bit about masonry materials, exterior materials. This is one of the pieces of the design that has probably evolved the most since the last time we were in front of you. We're looking at long-lasting, cost-efficient materials here. So you can see the samples that I brought in. They're clay masonry material for the brick areas of the building. That the lighter, whiter color, that will accentuate the base of the building. I'll step through some additional renderings here in a second and explain where those pieces go. The Monterey, or the brownish reddish color, that will be the field color or the majority of the facade. And then there's some stone embellishments on the building and some window banding, window headers, and arched openings that'll be precast concrete. So it'll be a combination of brick, natural stone, and concrete will be the main elements. The flat, low-sloped areas of the roof will be EPDM roofing, and then the tower at an entry piece will be a standing seam metal roof. The color scheme really is charcoal with some red accenting, obviously, because it's a fire station. So as you can see, the apparatus bay doors and some other accents, some signage and things will be red in color. Next slide, please. So these are the building elevations, just to give you a sense of the height and the massing of the building. You can see from the front elevation, or the north elevation, which would face the entrance drive, is at the top of the page. The quote-unquote front door is the west elevation, and that's the middle image that you see there with the round arched windows over the training facility and the entry tower piece. And then the other two elevations being the south elevation that would face the future training ground, and then the east elevation facing east, obviously. Next slide, please. So this is a rendering of the entry sequence at the front of the building. So when visitors, the public, and any other departments and off-duty staff that would come to train at this facility, they would enter the building through that tower piece off to the left. Plenty of available parking in front of that area. Again, that's a separated parking space or parking lot from the staff parking areas and the truck movement areas. Next slide, please. This would be the view from the highway, the perspective as you're coming down the ramps on the freeway. And you can see the different colors that we're bringing in and the different types of materials that we're incorporating into that. You can see that lighter base and then that natural stone at the main entrance, and then you see the lighter precast banding over the tops of the windows. And then in the north elevation, we use that same element to accentuate the arches over the fire apparatus doors. Next slide, please. And then this is the entry drive. So as you would enter the site, you're looking at basically the deployment elevation or the response elevation. So the trucks will roll from those red doors out that main drive entry piece. And off to the right, you can see There is a command car garage, and then off to the left where the building steps up, that is part of that hose tower, and there is a vehicle maintenance and wash bay off to the far left side there. Next slide, please. So the training tower is a pre-engineered building. They're manufactured specifically for training. They're very efficient in their material selection. They're very efficient in their construction, and they're designed specifically for training evolutions. To make one of these out of custom materials or make it out of a custom design wouldn't be as cost effective. So they basically, they're all very similar in their size and in their footprint. They serve for many different training evolutions for the fire department, from high-angle rescue to roof breaching to a myriad of other training props. The training ground is also laid out to accommodate potential future props so that they can do other training that is associated with the tower but doesn't require the tower. And one example of that might be extrication, practicing with the jaws of life and those types of things for rescue training. Next slide, please. And then this would be an example of what that cold storage building might look like. It's a metal panel wall and roof, but we're using or planning to use in the future phases that masonry for that wainscot or that elevation up off the ground to tie those buildings all together and give it more of a campus type feel. That storage building would supplement and provide additional storage needs for the training tower. So there'd be training props in there that would be in close proximity, that they could be brought out and put back away, so the department doesn't have to leave their training props out exposed to the elements. Next slide, please. In terms of the landscape plan, you can see the landscape design that's been put together for this particular project. It's really about foundation plantings around the building and then overstory trees around the facility to provide some shade on the pavement areas, and also provide some screening or visual privacy from some of the more public areas of the department that are exposed to the roadways and passersby. So it does a nice job of not only shading the facility and the parking areas, but it provides some visual screening as well, not only from inside the building to out, but outside the building to inside the building. So in order to be a good neighbor and to provide some visual privacy from both directions, the landscaping has been strategically planned that way. There's also a small synthetic turf area that's outside the fitness room, so that fitness activities that are taking place inside the fitness room can be expanded to outside the fitness room when the weather permits. It's a very inexpensive way to get additional training space and workout space without having to put up more brick and mortar. And there are also some, working with the physical fitness chief and trainers, there are some training exercises and physical fitness exercises that are just are better served and better done in an exterior environment. So that's the reasoning for that. Next slide, please. So what are the next steps? We are at 90% with the drawings and estimates. That is working with our construction manager to get the pricing in order and the costs in order. And we're tracking well there. We've got to get those plans to 100% so that the remainder of the packages can be issued for bid. So the site civil package is currently being proposed right now. Site acquisition and building demolition will take place here shortly. And I think watching the email traffic, it's looking like you're trying to target a groundbreaking for September 2nd, right after Labor Day. So you'll start to see some dirt moving out there pretty soon. Next slide, please. This is just a timeline to show you kind of where we started and where we're at. The yellow bar is where we're at today. It's our Plan Commission meeting. We've already received the 90% estimates. We're going through the site plan review and approval process. The next step is to take this to E-Plan for review, the authority having jurisdiction that will review the building for life safety and code concerns. And then the 100% plans and specifications be ready right around your groundbreaking so that the rest of those packages can be released by your construction manager. And it can dovetail right in behind the site civil works. So as the site utilities are coming in, buildings are coming down, building pad is being prepped for construction, we'll follow right in with the next phase, which is foundations and footings and the structural elements of the building. So that's where we are at. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for that, Trevor. Before we get to questions, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, thank you, John. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Trevor.
You're welcome. I heard you.
Paying attention, and he wasn't yelling at me loud enough through the window. Thank you very much for that overview of kind of where things are at right now. Before we get to questions, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the site plan of the new 39,796.7 square foot fire station located at 2151 West Washington Street by the City of West Bend and West Bend Fire Department.
Move to approve.
Thank you very much, Mike and John. Are there any questions for Trevor at this point in time? Yes, Paul?
First off, Trevor, thank you for addressing the turning radius. I see the movement of the 8-stall on-duty parking area, so thank you for that. I'm going to ask a question that I think the answer is fairly obvious, but I want to go on record as having asked it just so that the community knows that we've paid attention to this. May or may not know, West Bend schools this summer, a lot of the buildings are going through secure entry sequence updates. And can you, probably referring to page 66 in the packet, can you walk us through what the design is here? It certainly looks like we've got, a secure sequence here as well, but can you just walk us through, how I as a public citizen can access this building but can't necessarily get everywhere?
Yeah, so we're following some of the same best practices that your school district is following in terms of access control. So credentialed access, card reader access, or a fob system, so that the areas that are open to the public are open at, let's call it business hours, or when they're desired to be open and can be locked down afterwards. But so the public facing side of the buildings, the access control is more, I'll call it laid back, right? It's not as hardened or it's not as tightly locked down as the fire facilities. But you get to the doors that access the firefighter areas, the administrative offices, the living quarters, the apparatus bays, the truck floors, for the EMS storage where they supply the goods for the ambulance. Those are all credential readered and locked down. So to get through that building, the other advantage to the security package too is the installation of cameras. So we're going to have video cameras at the main entrances of the building. They will not be inside the private areas or the living areas of the facility, but they will be at all of the potential ingress points, so all the exterior doors. There'll be wide-angle cameras that are actually capable and sensitive enough to pick up license plates. So if you think about it in terms of, well, if somebody drove in, would we be able to see who it was, or would be, if they did a drive-through, you'll be able to get to that level of detail. There's also some station hardening items that we've placed in terms of the landscape plan. So it's real simple on the top of my head. Like if you think about like a concrete planter or something like that, bollards, those are present and prevalent out near the apparatus bays. So there are some other site hardening activities. Plus, we're using crime prevention through environmental design and some of the landscaping as well. So the bushes will be low around the building, so people can't hide out in the bushes near the main entrances and that sort of thing. That has a lot to do with the low maintenance nature of the landscaping, because the firefighters are responsible for the landscaping, cutting the grass and trimming the bushes. We're using native materials that don't require a lot of landscape maintenance. So did that answer?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Great question, Paul. Thank you. Any other questions? Then again, Trevor, I'll just thank you for the amount of work that you and your team have put into this and strong collaboration and having been part of the task force and working with Chief and his team as well. It's been extremely impressive to see it get to where it's at now, and I cannot wait for that shovel to go in the ground. And then open this, as we look at the latter part of next year. So thank you very much for all of your efforts in putting together what's going to be a phenomenal facility for our community. So if there are no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signal by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Our second site plan for this evening is a request for approval for parking lot and site improvements on the east side of the Washington County Justice Center building located at 432 East Washington Street by Washington County.
Sorry about that, trying to get to our next item here. So Washington County is actually looking to improve their parking lot. It's essentially on the east side of the building on the Justice Center side. They're looking to reconfigure the parking area that's extended on the east side of the old Schmidt Road, and then also the parking lot adjacent to the building. This would also include removing the fuel island that exists there today. That is actually being relocated to the Washington County Highway Department area that we did a site plan approval for internally at staff level. The improvements would also include some security concerns and adding bollards to the east side of the building. And it's just really slightly modifying the grades for proper drainage and whatnot within the parking lot area. Staff would recommend approval with the condition that we had a modification to the landscape islands up on the north end to actually create them as landscape islands to be grassed areas, and then modify the areas with some additional plantings on the perimeter to soften the area. And Washington County was fine with that suggestion with that. So staff would recommend approval with the conditions.
I'll entertain a motion.
I make the motion because I have a modification. So during stormwater management reviews, we were in communication with the county, and they pointed out some section of their codes that actually exempts them from stormwater management permitting. So I would like to remove that condition because they don't need to get a stormwater management permit from us. So I would like to remove the condition of them getting a permit amendment from us, and then make the motion to approve with the listed conditions minus the stormwater one.
So we have a motion with the existing conditions less the stormwater management. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you very much. We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this item? There being none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Our next item this evening is an extraterritorial certified survey map. It's a request for approval of a two-lot extraterritorial certified survey map located at 5920 South Oak Road by Andrew and Deanna Haver in the town of Trenton.
Yeah, this certified survey map is actually modifying two existing lots that were out there. It's doing some interior lot line modifications. It's located approximately a quarter mile just east of the city corporate limits on Oak Street. The CSM provides adequate right-of-way for Oak Road in accordance with the official map, and staff had no conditions for revisions or anything, so we would recommend approval as presented.
I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Thank you, John and Scott. Any questions or comments on this item? There being none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Our last item for this evening is an annexation. It's a recommendation of direct annexation to the city of the town, to the city from the town of Trenton for approximately 158.9 acres located at east side of South River Road between Decorah Road and Sand Drive by the Urban Design Group.
So this annexation request is for a larger tract of land that's contiguous to the city. The 2020 comprehensive plan identifies this area as single-family residential and wetlands. When this would be attached to the city or annexed to the city, we would also assign temporary zoning as single-family residential and then also wetlands for the environmental areas. We have received comment back from the Department of Administration in favor of the annexation, but they have made a couple of comments in regards to the possibility of creating town islands. We have been working with them along with the developer to try to eliminate that concern with that, and we're looking at proceeding to talk possibly with the town to come to an agreement for the annexation of this property, and then also to create or allow for those town islands that they're concerned about creating. So staff would still recommend approval of the annexation, contingent that we work out the details for the town island issues.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to, excuse me, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Jed and Max. Are there any questions on this? Yes, Jed, go right ahead.
If an agreement can't be reached with the Department of Administration about this town island issue, would there have to be an amendment to the annexation petition because of the vents and alongs and so on, everything, all the measurements that are in there?
Yeah, more than likely, we'd have to probably just resubmit or re-update the application to the Department of Administration and for another review, and then we'd move forward from there.
Would we have to approve, would it have to come back to us?
I don't think it would probably have to come back to it. If we get all the way through city council, it would have to come back, but if it happens between now and city council, those smaller details would just be addressed at the council level,
Okay,
I
thank you.
believe. And if Ian believes it should come back, we'll bring it back if needed.
How is, my question is, how significant are these town islands? And I'm assuming it's the single.
Yeah, so there are a couple of areas. One, we have a single-family house up on the far northwest, or essentially it would be the southeast corner of the intersection of Decorah and River. There's a house that's right across from the high school. That one does have connection right now. The way we had the annexation petition set up, in our eyes, we thought we had connection. The state viewed it a little bit differently.
Okay.
And then the town was also questioning that. We also have those four lots that you just indicated up there, and then another one on the north end by that little horseshoe, just to the north of the area. And then there was one other area that's already connected that goes up to the Scenic Drive area. But again, it's all areas that are connected currently, but they feel that it may be an issue with creating town island.
Okay,
So it's nothing that can't be overcome.
okay, sounds good, thank you. Any other questions? We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the direct annexation to the city from the town of Trenton for approximately 158.99 acres located east side of South River Road between East Decorah Road and Sand Drive by the Urban Design Group, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Just one comment for next month. We're looking at about 19 items, so you'll want to probably eat dinner and make sure you're rested.
Thank you very much for that, John. Any other comments? Otherwise, with no further business before the Plan Commission, I adjourn as chair. Thank you very much, everybody.